Hi guys, I'm just wondering if there's any truth to Tamara being arrested.
Please, people, don't come out here with unfactual information. We don't have that confirmed. So please be careful. You will be bounced or removed.
You know what they've been charged with? That guy that got arrested for taking his shirt off, was he in support of the convoy or against it, or was he just somebody there having a good time?
He was kind of in support of Canada, like he had Canadian colors on and stuff like that. But yeah, it was real bizarre that he was like not wearing hardly anything in the cold weather. To me, it seemed like he maybe had some kind of a health issue.
If he has mental health issues, that he's going to get some help for it. Watching the video now of the guy that's taking his shirt off. The cops were actually look like they've been pretty lenient with him, but yeah, you can definitely tell he's having some kind of mental health breakdown. Looks like they probably just had more cops than him. It looks like they were just trying to get him secured and arrested. Unfortunately, the guy needs a lot of help, and that happened. But anybody know if Jagmeet Singh is still in support of the Emergency Measures Act? Also somebody that I think in the next NDP leadership thing that he needs to be voted out. There's no way that he should have been able to run anyways, considering what his reputation is. Media needs a little bit of a geography lesson and maybe a political one too. Trump is American. They've got to stop calling us Canadians Trump supporters when, Trump is American and he was a past president in the US. He's not a leader of Canada. If you look up Jagmeet's history, I do believe that he is on a no-fly zone for both India and the U.S. I'm not sure if those have been lifted yet or not, but there is a little bit of history there. That's my real issue with him, is that I don't think that he should be allowed to be a leader of a party while that was being investigated as to why he was on those no-fly zones. His family was investigated a few years ago for being involved in the Air India bombing. Sure if those allegations are 100% true, but there is videos of him actually in meetings, like social type situations with the people that were behind that incident. RCMP's letter, what is the NPF? I don't understand what that is. I believe it says something about emailing the NPF, and I just don't know what that is.
National Police Federation. That's a pretty darn good letter, I gotta say. That's good. Very, very good.
Guess we'll have to look up and find out what the email is for the National Police Federation. Trudeau understands that maybe like what's going on over in the Ukraine, that would warrant an Emergency Measures Act. But, you know, people downtown partying, listening to music, and, you know, playing on bouncy castles is not exactly an emergency.
Well, I mean, like, unless Putin's airdropping Russians in our country, I don't think it's an emergency in our country, whatever's going on in Ukraine.
Wondering if he understands the difference between an actual emergency and, you know, what's going on here.
My point by posting that was more like he understands the anger on one side, but on the other side, when people lost their business, their kids are depressed, probably commit suicide, you know, like have to choose between injecting yourself or putting bread on your table. Like, no, he doesn't understand their anger.
He doesn't understand the First Nations anger either, because he doesn't care. Like, his dad was literally, you know, in charge of 10 of those schools. He really does not care. And he doesn't care about the people now. A lot easier to call us a bunch of racist names, but it wouldn't be very good if he did that to the First Nations people. That would probably enrage most of the country if he did that, whereas it seems to be more acceptable for him to do it to a minority, like what he views as a minority of people that are just standing up against him.
Yeah, exactly. Like going on vacation the day of the celebration that he did for the reconciliation was like the worst one of the, like, I have no word for that. That made me puke.
A real leader would have actually at least had, you know, some courage to go to a ceremony somewhere and join in, and no, he went surfing.
And well, who's all here of Indigenous descent? You know what I mean? Of like, you know what I mean? Good to have on. I'm Métis Cree First Nations from out of Manitoba.
Well, that some of our moderators are actually Indigenous people. I personally am not Indigenous, but I do know that some of the moderators are Indigenous.
Yeah, thanks, Miss TLS. I heard about it, but so much stuff to watch. I've been late and all my stuff, but yeah, I will definitely do that. Thank you.
Is it in downtown Ottawa right now?
I'm not gonna write it because it's gonna be very long, but I was due for a date, and I knew from the beginning that my baby will need to be monitored because of health issue. And the government passed mandate that anybody that not full vaccinated that will visiting a patient at the hospital won't be allowed. So me, if I give birth naturally, I will have to, after 2 days, I will be released from the hospital, so my baby will become the patient and not me. So I was so scared of that, so I asked my doctor to give birth before, so that's mean a C-section. So then my baby can stay for his 15 days monitored, and I can be with my baby before the mandate pass. So that's what happened.
Hey, I missed all of that. What was it you said happened? Very sorry to hear that, Janie. That's pretty disgusting.
Yeah, it was a very panicking moment before I gave birth last September. It was very, very bad. But now everything is fine, and they're dropping the mandate, so it's good. But yeah, I've been through a lot. So when I see trolls that saying we don't care, blah blah blah, just get shot, like it's not like that. I was pregnant, and I'm not an anti-vax. I was scared for my baby because there were no statistic with pregnant lady, and I'm glad I didn't, but at the time it was very stressful. Yeah, everyone is fine, but yeah, like all this people don't see, they just see like people yelling, I don't want the jab, it's my choice, but there's a lot of under issue about it, and a democratic country like we live in should taking care of everyone, and it's the freedom of choice that was created. Canada was created on freedom, and it has to stay on freedom.
I think what Grey Wolf was trying to do was just give people a warning. I don't think he's saying that he's against the convoy or anything like that. I think he was just trying to give people a warning. At the same time, we need to keep a positive vibe in here. Kind of wonder, what are the numbers going to be like on the weekend? Like, is people going to be kind of just filing out, or there's going to be a lot more showing up, or what? I don't know.
But then it makes people that, oh, should we go in Ottawa or not? Because of things like that. We have to support exactly all those people that um, that will face bankruptcy, bank account seizing. Who knows, like the trucker that have kids, they've been menacing about their pets, their kids. So everyone has to be there. The one that can be in Ottawa should be there to support.
Yeah, I don't really have an opinion one way or another about the organizers because I don't know their histories well enough to form an opinion. But in order for this to be successful, there has to be leadership of some sort.
We were in moderate chat.
I have no social media. I never had, and I go around pretty good and find my info pretty good, and I don't need it at all. I don't check the mainstream media either, and my life is really easy with that when I hear about what's going on and all the hate. And before, I don't know what age you guys are. Like I'm not very old and I'm not very young, so I will say mid-age. And I knew before, and it was okay, so it's still like that.
Anybody confirm if Platinum Blonde is actually going to Ottawa to perform for the rally?
Okay, guys, I'm bingoed, I'm done, and I'm back. What's going on?
Not much. Talking about Facebook and what's option and other option of text messaging and stuff like that. But I'm going to bed, so good night, everyone.
Woo! She's hopping tonight in the house, yo. Man, I can barely get a word in edgewise.
Just leave for a little bit and there's like 178 messages in chat. Wow.
Can anyone confirm if Les turned off chat? Because it's pretty dead, I'm assuming so, right? Because it's just us mods now, hey? That's what I'm seeing anyways.
Queen Bee, I have a question for you.
Alright, I'm all ears. What's up?
You know how Trudeau is going to be investigating anybody that donated? Because in Canada, I guess it's now, it was a wrong thing to donate to the truckers. How does that affect the First Nations people living on the reservation if they donated?
Apparently we are veto. They cannot come after us and invoke the Emergency Act on us.
The local Facebook group to me released the postal codes of where the donations came from our area, and one of the largest ones, which was like $6,700, came from a local reservation around here.
Yeah, well, you need to go talk to them and let them know and show them the clause on the Emergency Act at the bottom there that says exemption for First Nations in the Indian Act as described as in the Indian Act, and the refugees and the Canadians that are trying to be Canadian that haven't been yet.
Didn't release the names. It just gave the postal code for the general area, but we know where the donations came from. So I just wondered if those people will also be listed as terrorists and have their bank accounts frozen, or if there was some protection. So at least some people will be protected.
Yeah, I'll go try and see if I can find it and clip that out because I believe Shani did it and posted it showing the exemptions because somebody brought up the question like, why do they get exempt? Well, unfortunate as it is for everybody else, we had our own government before the Europeans came in and tried to destroy us and extinguish us. So we are self-governed, and so anything that the government tries to implicate on us that is against our well-being, UNDRIP was passed in June last year to Canadian law. They have to follow that, so they can't do that to us, I guess.
Actually leaving an awful lot of groups on Facebook. I did think about deactivating my account for a bit, and I might still do it, but I just found it so horrible that this particular news group went and posted that. I know it was no names or anything like that, but they posted the postal codes of all of the people in the area that donated, whether it was from the reservation or wherever. So, and I just think that's wrong.
Well, to me, isn't that a breach of privacy to a degree? Yeah, but you know what? In the same sense, that makes me happy that the First Nations over there were doing their part because there's a lot of discrepancies in people's thoughts of, who's supporting and who's not, because there is division in our Indigenous people, unfortunately, because chiefs like to take control too, and a lot of them are ran by government and paid by government and they, screw over the band members. So it's a real thing in that too. You give anybody power and money, they run with it, no matter who they are, is the bottom line. So I'm actually kind of happy to hear that. But yeah, that's a breach of privacy, I would think.
The Mennonites fall under the same thing.
You know what? That's a good question because you know what? My grandma, she was very Mennonite. She's going to be 100 this year, you guys. And she told me that they were exempt from fighting in the war because they were Mennonites. So what they did was my grandpa farmed and made wheat and bread and stuff, and grandma cooked and would provide food. So maybe there is something to that, but I never saw that in the clause. But hey, that'd be interesting to find out, don't you think? And I'm wondering too for the Hutterites because the Hutterites are actually, or Mennonites are stem off of Hutterites, I believe.
I know that the Mennonites in the area also showed support too. I don't know if it was financial or not, but like what happens if one of the businesses that they own supported?
That's a good question. I don't know, and I don't know if my grandma would know. She's like I said, she's almost 100, and she's the last Mennonite in the family. My adoptive family, the colonialized ones, they were united. So
Queen Bee, I have a question for you. Because I definitely don't have the answer. I don't know. I've been studying syntax and sovereign law for a little bit now. I have a group and we are trying to get filed out. A couple of us have started the process. Now, I know that we're not original, right? So we can't, I'm trying to figure out how would we do this to partner up with the originals of Canada and actually have something that does protect not that, I don't know, grandfathering in or something. I know I'm not using the right words. I don't know how to word this, but I don't know. Maybe you know what I'm saying maybe you're a mind reader, you know?
I don't know. I kind of do. Um, with the people that were here in the beginning and stuff. But that's the thing, like I'm not too sure when it comes to Europeans and stuff like that, or Asians and stuff. I think that's kind of, really separate, and they keep that separate. So I'm not too sure about that, girl.
I would love to figure out a way to get, the originals of Canada with, you know, the current, citizens, and try and figure out how do we actually do this. So, because we are together. I just went to Ottawa, and we're together. We're 100%. And, I get this, I get the sovereign part as to how we're all part of the, the maritime and all that fun stuff. Not fun at all, but I don't know. My brain's trying to figure out myself, and how do we get ourselves out of this so we have more comprehension on our mind, body, and spirit, and how to facilitate, ourselves with these laws, right?
See, the thing is that I think part of the problem is that, this all happens so conveniently when we're opening the eyes to the world of what happened to us. And, like, let's be 100% real. We're bitter. Like I've said many a times, our powwows, we don't have the Canadian flag. We have the American flag, we have our nation's flag, and then we have the Every Child Matters flag. We do not possess the Canadian flag in our grand entries anymore. And that says a lot, right? So in this healing process, it's really hard when, we're trying to heal ourselves, but yet now we have a bigger problem where we need to unite with everybody, because that's how our culture is. We love people, we love animals, we love our earth, we love everything. We're very, very spiritual in that matter. So it's kind of hard when you try to bring that together when, we're healing of, and, every day, like, look, we forgot already about all our children. We're up to almost 10,000. They possibly found another 50 in, what was it, Kissi Coos First Nations. And that's not hitting the airwaves anymore, and we're not talking about it. So what? We're just forgetting about it. So we feel like they've kind of turned their back on us, but we're still trying to be there. Like we really are. And I think it's catching on more and more. Like we see more and more Indigenous out there. So that's a good thing, guys.
It was 54. I watched the thing that they did on YouTube.
Yeah, that's always my question, and sadly, I always wonder what the division tactic is, and because they always put something out here, and forgive me, I'm not saying the convoy is to distract us, but 9/10 of the time, there's always something that we're not looking at, and that's my concern with, we are, students of amnesia, and it's horrible, and I can't. It's hard. I can't, saying sorry is not the right words, because it's discussing what has gone on. And all I want is the truth. I want the truth out. I'm grateful for this moment with this convoy, because for me, we're getting more people speaking about the truth, and the truth is been hidden for so long on so many different levels, and I am sorry that, I can only apologize on myself and behalf of humanity, but I'm so sorry that this has gone on for so long. It sickens me.
You know what, though, on that note, we aren't expecting you to say sorry to us. It's not you. What we're expecting you to do is to take our hand and walk with us and listen to us. Just let us tell you what happened. And it's not just us. There's Mexicans that went through it. There's blacks that went through theirs. Everybody has a story, and we just need to listen and quit opening our mouths, You know, do less talking and more listening, and a lot of crying, because crying's healing. And we were suppressed from crying and feeling love and all those good things that everybody else gets to feel. So just take my hand, and when I want to tell you what's on my heart and on my mind, just be open to it. You don't have to be sorry. We're not asking you to be sorry. We're asking you to help us through this. It wasn't your fault. You only lived your life the way you're supposed to, and we knew no better. So don't ever kid yourself or feel guilty of that. Just be proud and have ears. And we're here to listen to you too, because like I said, everybody has their own story. It's not just about us.
Give you an idea of how much they've ignored the First Nations people. There was a massive protest in Victoria, I believe. There was a statue that was toppled, had its head cut off. Thousands of people there, and no media coverage.
Oh, it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. And when I say sorry, I say it as in a whole. Because I get you. I mean, the healing starts for you. The healing starts for. We have to heal, and I'm sorry. Not everybody has to heal in their own time, right? But I it's crazy. I have a B&B up where Ojibwa, and I it's there's no words I can say. It's horrifying. I mean, we have ribbons that I walk down to get my gas, and I count them, and it's horrible.
But here's something too, with all of this, we need to stand up, because if you haven't noticed, my story goes like this, long story short. My family was running from CPS in Winnipeg. We went to our reserve in Saskatchewan, George Gordon's. The government forced my parents to put us in residential school, because if they didn't, they wouldn't get their welfare check. The day they knew that we were in school sitting at our desks, they were able to go down to the band office and pick up their check to feed us. Now, what's going on today is nothing short of what that was back then. He's starting to threaten our food. He's starting to threaten our livelihood. If you don't get the vaccination, you don't get this, you don't get that. Do you see the similarities? And that's why we have to come together, because the biggest thing us First Nations are trying to get across is that we can never let that happen again. And that's what we need to focus on.
I agree. And for me, on my side, what I've been doing is I've been trying to get as many people learn in the syntax grammar, to know how to take these lobbyists to court, how to hold ourselves in a court setting, how to word ourselves. And I'm learning. Like I said, I'm still a student of this. And what I realized is this is partnership with the originals. You already have that in, it's already standing in the culture. There's words of saying I'm of the nation, I'm of land. That is so powerful, right? And most of us, the others in Canada, I'm still learning. I had no idea, right? So when I learn these new ways of speaking, almost, it opens up more doors, right? And I think that the more we can, like, I realize that this paperwork is what holds this world in this limbo, and it's crazy. That's what I've been trying to do. So that's why if I can make a connection, and I know we are trying to make connections further, but just planting seeds and seeing whoever we can get filed out as quickly as possible. And then if we have to work in partnership with the government, we do that. But, we need authority in a sense, because I mean, my oranges aren't my oranges unless we have someone taking care. But then again, to this extent, this has been so distorted. And I'm not talking about right now, guys. Like for me, this has been distorted for years. Like I'm young, but I've read very much history books, and this is like, you're right. This is not new. This is the same thing being done again.
Yep, and only on the other half of our people now. And hopefully, what I'm hoping for is that there's the extinguishing part missing from what is trying to be done again. But that's what you need to do as young as you are. Get the word out there. Like I said, in order for it to not happen again, we need everybody to know what happened so that it never happens again. That's our biggest goal as Indigenous people right now. We need you to know what happened so that it never happens again, because that's the only way we'll stop it.
Me, as people don't realize that as soon as they stop getting their boosters, they are considered to be the fringe minority. They are considered to be unvaccinated, but they're just not getting it right now.
Exactly. And the problem is with this vaccine is that we don't know what the ramifications are. We don't know, just like the schools, we don't know what the ramifications of, and we did know it at that time. And for me, I think sorry, I don't want to open up too many doors, but the future is in jeopardy. And, that's why I went down to Ottawa for my couple hours and handed out whatever I could do and just supported. I'm going to do my best to go back again. And I don't care what kind of information they're putting out there. I'm going to do my best to go down there. And I hope others do the same. And I know that there's many of people that are just there participating, and I commend them completely, because without this movement, like, I am so grateful, because I've been so afraid since 2019, because I knew about this in November, and how quickly this escalated and how many people were not asking questions. I'm so grateful to be a part of these groups now, because like I'm shaking right now, because it's like I'm grateful to be a part of these groups with you guys, because you guys think the same, and this is a beautiful thing. Sorry, maybe we don't all have the same opinions, but we have the same, amendments at this moment to change the future, to stop this. And hopefully, if we can be aware of this, like, my point is, I don't think we can stop here, guys. Like, I think, as Dan and the other group talks, is the Posse Comitatus, we almost need to look at these small communities and keep on making sure we hold these lobbyists accountable, and we hold this accountable. So you're right. So this never, ever, ever, because I don't think that this is going to be the last time, sadly, that this isn't. I don't, I want to be positive. I really do. And I want to be, but I think that the Q&R codes and weird stuff that's going on, we need to change some things.
Hopefully we can make things change for the better.
Sorry for my rant. Forgive me.
Cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I just said sorry for my rant. I got a bit passionate there. Sorry.
That's not a problem. Go ahead. Be passionate.
For me, I can't even, I've never understood how this got here in general, like all the stories. And it's just it's interesting to witness, but I never thought I'd witness this. And honestly, it was beautiful to witness in Ottawa, because, like I said, it's not what the media has been portrayed. But it's yeah, I don't get how society has been able to do this for so long, and I hope that we wake up. Like, I hate to say wake up, because that's not the term that I want to say, but I do. I hope we come to the wake up.
Funny is, in the very beginning of COVID, there was people that were awake, and we all looked at them like they had the plague.
No, I lost my whole family. I mean, I only have one sister that doesn't think I'm crazy, and I actually just went back on Facebook because I had to break down my Facebook account because my family just like went off on me, and I wasn't even belligerent. I posted a picture of an apple that said like, would you eat this apple if it had stuff on it? And it just turned into just a whole attack mode. And I was like, okay, I'm not doing this. Like, I'm just gonna stay away from certain individuals because I don't want to upset people. And yeah, it's been a hard show. It's been a really hard show. Like I have a medical condition, so I can't wear the mask, and I've been treated like a leper. And I get it. I get why people are scared. I'm not trying to make them uncomfortable. I totally get it. I've had to really humble myself in this because in the beginning I didn't get it, and then I did get it, and it's just been I get all sides of the equation. I am trying to get all sides of the equation, but it's I just want this mandate to end. I want us to just be able to breathe. I want the kids to be able to breathe.
Seeing more and more people without a mask on.
Sorry, you cut out, love.
Seeing more and more people without a mask.
I know. I'm in a very. I'm not. I don't mean to sound rude or anything. I'm in a very Asian area, so everybody for some reason everyone's wearing a mask here. So I am the odd one, but they don't harass me anymore. They're not but I have been mean to people, and I regret that because I wish that I was nicer instead of on attack mode. But it's like an anxiety thing. Like I go out and I have anxiety already when I leave my house, and then they say wear a mask, and then of course I get more anxiety. So it's just yeah. But I know a lot of people have told me they don't wear a mask, which makes me feel great because I feel like I'm not alone. And I go to a clinic that for my chiropractor, and I don't have to wear the mask there. So I go where I'm tolerated. Sorry, I go where I'm celebrated, not where I'm tolerated, right?
For the few stores that I do go to, we do have to wear a mask to go in, like the feed store and stuff. So sometimes I do have to weigh that option of, do I really want to argue with these guys, or do I want to make sure that my sheep are fed today? So, so at this point, I haven't challenged them on it. Using my feed store as an example, it's not that they would challenge me.
I've had people run after me. I've had a ears, nose, and throat doctor tell me that I'm spreading COVID and that I need to wear a mask and what is my medical condition. And I had to go speak to a lady one time, and I couldn't wear the mask because it made me faint. So I was like, I can't. I'm not going to do this. And they treated me like a leper. They wouldn't speak to me. It turned into this whole thing. I've it's been intense. I try and stay away from certain places because, like you said, like I don't want to argue with anybody. I just want to get what I need to do and like, get what I need and leave. I haven't been able to take my mom out to a nice restaurant, which really frustrates me because we really like nice dining, and it's a new way of living.
March 1st is when we can go out to restaurants here. I'm not sure.
The worst thing about it though is like now that this whole thing has happened, I don't know where I want to go anymore. Like I know that they had to do it because they had to, but at the same time, I, I'd rather support the places that you know are like I have a much different way of looking at where I'm putting my time and my money at this now, and I'm grateful for that as well because I should be thinking about that, but it's even when they do open up, I don't know when. They say that they might open up, and I don't know. If they do, great. If they don't, I want them to, but I don't even know where I would take my mom out.
Or we're going and I'll book reservations if I have to just to be able to get in. But they supported the rally, so I don't want to give the restaurant's name, but we'll definitely be going there whenever all these mandates are lifted.
No, I would really like a pina colada on a beach. That 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 to me sounds like heaven.
I have a small farm, so there's no beaches for me till the summer where I can just drive to it.
Oh no, no. I'm thinking boarding an airplane without a mask, without any of this, getting to some beautiful beach, having like 18 gazillion pina coladas, dealing with a horrible bellyache, and then having some more pina coladas the next morning.
To be honest, when these mandates are lifted, it's not going to affect myself or my husband very much because we're not exactly the most social people to begin with. So this is more just for other people, like my daughter, who would like to go out and have a social life. Um, they're going to lose that if we don't fight.
And forgive me for saying, because I know this may not be the place to talk, and hopefully it's after hours enough to say that. But somebody on another channel, really, really wonderful lady, she brought a point to my attention that I think we all kind of thought about it, but never really said out loud. And she said, the masks are actually condoning the trafficking because you're not allowed to go to these airports. You can't necessarily identify these children, and it's concerning, because these masks, not only is it oxygen deprivation for these kids, social life and all of that, it's a whole can of worms that we're neglecting to look at yet again. We opened up a little bit, and I don't know, it's concerning.
Even adult women or even like men that have that don't have an ability to speak up and say something, you throw a mask on them and they're being trafficked too.
Yeah, and that, like, it's when she said that, I didn't even think about the airports, and I kind of concerned me because you don't know they're wearing a mask.